Welcome everyone to day 24 of the 30 Days of Transformation, a journey to your true self. Today we're going to talk about mastering your vibration through your energy, your mindset, and your emotions. I don't know about you, but sometimes daily routines, daily life can really make you feel out of sync with what your desire is, what's in front of you, and there are certain things that we go through that can trigger us, that can stimulate us in such a way that causes our vibration to be out of tune and out of sync with the highest version of us, which is what this whole 30 days is about, the journey to your true self. And to be your true self means to operate at your highest vibrational capacity. And to do that, you've got to focus on different aspects of your being. You have to focus on your mental aspect, your emotional aspect, your energy aspect, and of course your physical aspect of what's going on in, through, and around your daily life. So welcome if you're just joining me. I took a little break because I had went on a family vacation, and I mentioned I would be gone for a certain amount of time, and I would be back. Literally we just got back yesterday late and had an all-night flight. So back at it today, and this is a piece of, even when you go through things and experience things, a lot about how you navigate your journey is through your vibration and how you feel. Because you can, and what you tell yourself. So to give you an example, I could easily feel, I'm not gonna say I feel up to par. I could easily feel like, okay, well, I need a break to get caught up in myself before I show up here for you guys. Well, that's just a story. And that's what a lot of times our stories are what creates our beliefs. And the beliefs what creates our ideas of how we can or can't do something. It's so funny when I sit down here and I just started to put all this together through just an idea, just the concept, like I always do. I was hearing the words, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And that's a frequency and a vibration through mindset. So it's so important to tune in your mindset to a frequency that puts you in a position to already be that best version of you, whether you are or not yet. You have to act as if you have to become that millionaire to become the millionaire. Does that make sense? When people talk about that a lot. I was reading something about that this morning. And so you have to become who it is you want to be, to become who it is you want to be. And that's through a frequency. That's through a vibrational match to that version of you that is your best self. So what we want to talk about then is ways that you can unlock your truest, highest potential inside of you. Because that's where you're going to tap into the gold nuggets. That's where you're going to tap into the part of you that literally came here to be, do, and have it all. And if you are in a place of a position that feels like you can't, and I understand what that feels like, because we are human and we do have certain capacities physically, emotionally, mentally, all those things, but 99.9% of the time, it's the ones that we create within ourselves that creates our reality. And that's where a lot of people say is, change your thoughts, change your reality, or change your destination. That's what my mentor, Dr. Wayne Dyer, used to say a lot. And obviously I've followed him for years, and I feel so programmed through his programming because I don't know how to separate that, because I literally become those things that are principles that I learned through his teachings. And I was even thinking about that this morning, about how my process of teaching has been through my own experiences and the things I've learned, which we all do in our path towards helping others, and coming in it from a place of how can you serve and taking the spotlight off of you in some ways. So if you're just joining me, I just want to recap for a second. Hello, Stacy. Thank you so much for showing up, dear. I've been praying for you and connecting with you, and so is me and my beloved Jeremiah, both of us. So, and I will be in touch soon, okay? I'll be reaching out soon to you. Now, you are the powerhouse of your own vibration. And it takes a lot sometimes to suck it up, buttercup, and to show up in a frequency that you don't feel yet. But when you can tap into that space, hey, Monica, when you can tap into that space, that allows you to then tap into a part of you that is suppressed, that is like not fully being expressed at its greatest, capacity or potential. So anyway, I got a little off track again. This is day 24 of 30 days of transformation, a journey to your true self, being your highest self, your highest version of you. If you've missed out on this whole series, go to my YouTube channel, Twin Flame Expert, go into the playlist, and there's a 30 Days of Transformation playlist so you can catch up. If you want to continue over the next 7 days to complete this today and the next 6 days, you can subscribe there. You can hit the notification bell and be notified when I come live. And that's how I have had a lot of people follow me on this journey for many years, really. But, even for this 30 days of transformation, I have people going in, they're subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and they're showing up to follow this process. And I want to thank all of you that have done that. I also want to thank all of you that have been here, and also all of you on Instagram that I can tell that some of your names here are the names that have been, following me through, a lot of this process and this journey. So how can we become the powerhouse of our own vibration? If you have any tips, if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments so I can bring it up and we can talk about it. I do have a client after this, so I obviously have plenty of time. I don't like to rush these things, but I do have a certain amount of time that I'm going to devote to this today. So I'm just going to ask you this question. And we've all felt this, but I just want to say, have you ever felt out of tune with your desires, out of tune with your potential, or out of tune with the best you could possibly be to show up in a place of being absolutely that magnificent version of you that is, fully blessed, fully abundant, fully in a place of being joyful? Because abundance isn't just about the prosperity and money. It is also about, can you find peace in your daily life? Can you find fulfillment in your daily life? Are you in a sense of purpose? And so when it comes to raising your vibration, to being that vibrational match, which we'll call your wealthy self, how's that? Because wealth, again, is not just finances. Like this word, like wealth, is coming through. Like, what does wealth mean to you, first of all? So from a mindset, like, what does that mean? So if you want to be that version of you at your highest self, you have to know what that version of you looks like, feels like, acts like, right? So you have to get to really know that version of you. So I invite you to, in this moment, what does that wealthy version of you look like? More importantly, feel like. And then taking, faith in action, that you act as if before it is, because your success is truly already in front of you. It's just you tuning this vibrational dial to match it, to be a vibrational match to what it is. So in the law of attraction, we talk about you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And the other piece I have to say to this that's coming through to me is that what we experience has already been pre-planned from the higher self, and also potentially the unconscious self that needs an experience to bring to light the unconscious program that needs reprogramming. So you could look at your scenarios and situations from a mindset and judge that and be like, I'm not that vibrational match, and why am I attracting this, and why do I have to go through that? And know that a couple of things. Your higher self needs to understand polarity in order to find the opposite of that polarity. So if you've been feeling or experiencing things that feel dark, okay, the only way you can find the light is to understand the darkness. So don't fight it. That's a piece of this. Do not fight your resistance. Like, do not have the resistance to where you are. The minute you surrender to where you are is when you will get out of the place of where you are to become more of who you are and to transcend those limitations and that lack. And and to connect to that. So really in a mental aspect, to raise your vibration, you need to understand that version of you that is the wealthiest, highest, best version of you came to be here, be, do, and have. And then the second part of that is you need to master your emotions, because the emotional aspects are a trigger response to the mental stories that you create. Okay? So if you just keep playing the same story over and over and over and over and over again, then basically you are creating the same cycle over and over again. I didn't complete this thought. I want to complete this thought here because it's so important. That while we have a conscious ability to co-create based on our desires, we have to understand that our mind is limiting. We can't see as big as what the universe has to offer. We can't see as big as who we are and what we have, our capacity and that potential is. So therefore, our higher self sees that potential as something bigger, better, older, brighter than our conscious mind can create. So while we might want to pull left to what we think is our best version or the best life or the best things, our higher self knows something better. And that means sometimes we have to give up what we think is the best for something better. Okay? And if you're stuck on something, you're attached to something, and you're not flowing through it, then you're preventing yourself from receiving this or better. Okay? I've been teaching that, practicing that for a long, long time. And, even like one of my spiritual advisors years ago, when we would do our manifestation list, we would put everything down we want. We'd put, I received this and something much better, more, or different, because it will always be better than we can think from our mind. Okay? So that's the one principle in that. The unconscious part of that is what's running, that's blocking you from fine-tuning that dial into frequency and vibration. So in that unconscious block, in that unconscious barrier, we need these triggers, these experiences to put us through things that will help show us what we haven't seen, felt, or healed yet. Okay? So when these things show up in our life, then we need to experience them, to feel them, to basically, we got to see them, feel them, and heal them for it to come up, to move past it. And then once we see it, we can see the pattern that's running, and it's continuously going on a cyclic loop. And when you see the patterns, you don't unsee it. That's why when you awaken to something that is in a place of who you are transcending to, you don't unsee the things you see in higher, greater conscious awareness that's coming from that higher self I mentioned. So therefore, what we need to do then is shift our mindset to a place that is free-flowing thoughts, full of abilities to not hang on to things, not to attach to things. That in itself will prevent as many triggers from coming to raise up the emotions, that the emotions are attached to something or resisting something. So if you can automatically not attach and automatically not resist, that means you have less triggers. You have less triggers to less programming, because you've already bypassed the programs that are needing to be recycled, to be reset, and that are stuck on some loop. In that then is an energy pattern that becomes the frequency of who we are on all these levels, from our shadow self to our higher self. And in that, it's a matter of which space are we going to live. It means we exist in all of them. You've got to stop resisting all parts of you. You got to start accepting all parts of you and allowing these spaces of where you are, in order to be able to see the beauty in the ashes, and then rise up out of those ashes from a place of taking and transmuting that lower frequency of that, whatever it is that feels limiting, into a higher frequency of whatever it is we don't even see yet. And our journey is what helps us do that. That being said, there are techniques that you can do to help with this. And that is through different because we're vibration. We are made of energy. And our energy vibrates at the frequency of which we think, feel, act, and believe. Okay? So as we change these ways we think, feel, act, and believe, then we can raise that vibration is one way. That said, the pattern of the vibration itself still vibrates at a rhythmic pattern to old programs. So in that place, if you consciously choose to do some things such as sound healing, from the inside out, even mantras, the humming, the toning, those sorts of things can shift the cells, shift the frequency from the inside out. The breath work, and we talked about several of these ways to do this, and also about getting mindful and being present. These are some of the things we've already talked about on how to do this. So I'm not going to talk about as much on the how of this because we've talked about that in previous videos. Some very specific things with sound healing. I did a little sound healing experiment, being present and operating your daily life, being present. I got to tell you, on this trip I went on to was so amazing on so many levels, because it's one of the things when I was telling Jeremiah about it, like what I kind of took away from this trip is I was very present. I was very in the moment. And that had not always been my life. And that had not always been my experience, even on the island that we were at in Kauai. And I'd had so many experiences on that island that being on the island itself was like, just in itself, like this experience to bring up what needed to come up for me to see things, feel things at this higher level, to make different choices, to reclaim a part of my soul that had literally been, put into a place of being powerless at times, and putting me in a place that could still be powerless, but choosing not to be this time from a different version of me. So that's again why we will sometimes repeat these cycles, so we can not just see it, not just feel it, not just heal it, but to reset it, to reset the program, and to make a conscious choice of how you choose to feel, how you choose to think, how you choose to show up. Back to the vibrational aspect of who we are and some things that, to raise your vibration and master that. So mastering it comes from mastering your emotions and your thoughts, okay? But all the rest of this is how you get to the place of that. Just like anything, like saying, give you an example. So if you have a headache and your neck is out causing it, and you took a Tylenol, the Tylenol might help the headache, but it didn't fix the problem, okay? So that being said, when you use techniques, tools, remedies, ceremonies, different types of modalities, basically, there's this sound healing that's going to shift your cells, open up your field, and reset your vibration and your energetic level. I said it needs reset. That is going to the cellular, quantum cellular level of shifting your frequency, shifting your vibration to kind of heal and seal, like almost if you were to think about a scratched record that happens to your central nervous system through trauma and emotions. And then it's like every time you go over the scratch, it's like skipping a piece of what's happening. So every time you go through experiences and you have traumatic emotion, your nervous system, your central nervous system has this scratch on it, and it's like re-screeching like the memory of what caused the trauma. No matter whether you think about it, and you can do this all day long. So you're healing at this quantum cellular level to not just your nervous system, but your energy template, your sacred geometrical template that holds all the wisdom, the truth, and the knowledge that of who you are, what you came here to do, be, and have, that needs to be walked into you, needs to be activated in you, needs to be awakened to you. And then help you tune into that frequency through your thoughts, feelings, your emotions, and then tap into the depth of those unconscious barriers so you can dissolve them. And now you are resetting yourself from the inside out, from an energetic space to your reality and everything in between that I've just talked about. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing at the Sedona Rejuvenation Retreat, is rebooting your soul. rebooting your frequency, resetting your timelines, changing your stories, and upgrading your operating system. And yes, we're going to use some modalities. We're going to use some sound healing. We're going to use some energy transmissions. We're going to use some meditation. We're going to do even activations. And that's what it's about to tell you. You have dormant energy and dormant power inside of you that has been not tapped into yet. And that's where going into that quantum physics area and the sacred geometric templates that hold your divine self, hold your true self, hold your highest self, and unlock those so that we can activate your template and help you integrate with that version of you. And so you can quantum speed through this. And so, I highly recommend, if it resonates and is doable, we're going to be here in Sedona doing this from April 4th through 7th. And we would love to have you. So you can check out the link above or below, and Instagram, you can check it out. The link is in the bio. But I send you guys loads of love, and I just want to double check a couple things here to see if, a couple statements that's been made. And again, thank you guys all for joining me here today. And I wasn't sure if I would get this last 7 days in before the retreat or not. And when I kind of looked at it just now, before I sat down to do this, I was like, okay, yes, got exactly enough time because I start today and there's 7 more days left. I'll be done on Wednesday, which is the retreat starts on Thursday. So of next week, 1 week from today is the retreat. So super, super excited about that. I just can't wait to connect in person with people again. That's part of my own journey. I was being shown to move here to Sedona to connect more in person with people. Bring back a lot of that connection that I had as a chiropractor, but in new, different, better, broader, bolder ways. Because I even questioned it last year. If you followed me, I was just like, why? Because I was coming around here saying, the universe is calling me back to community, connection, and collaboration. And I have no idea what that means. And I have no idea, how to do that, because I was a chiropractor for over 20 years, and I did all that, and then I went global and mobile for 8 years, and I'm like, why? It felt like almost like going backwards, really. But then whenever I was shown between Jeremiah and I that saw this, I didn't see this alone. It was our connection, our soul assignment together. Our activation of our blueprint. We went through this same activation that I'm talking about within ourselves, that I help clients do as well. And we tapped into the wisdom that brought us to Sedona, that showed us the truth of who we were and what we would be doing here. And then it all made sense. And that's why we're here. And so being here is just, I can't even begin to tell you, what it's took to be here, even personally. A lot of acting as if, a lot of stepping out in faith and taking what I call faithful action. Means you don't know how, but you do it anyway. And here we are. And we did have a retreat right when we got here, and about a week after we were here last year. And that set the premises for, I can't even tell you how many other things that we've done since then that open up doorways and gateways to ideas of unlocking this potential that we're talking about. And I can tell you with conviction that this is our mission to do this, and to do it from a place of helping people through it further, faster, with love, not so much having to revisit the trauma anymore. And that's not to say you don't have emotions to go through this process, but you don't have to live in that space anymore. If you do, it's a choice. And we do have, that's the free will. So, all right. I'm just going to check a couple things I have here on my platform here that is probably going to be on YouTube and Facebook. So Instagram, you're not going to see this unless you get plugged in over there on my playlist. But let's just see. They've helped you so much, Stacy. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so happy to hear that. And Monica, I just want to say, acknowledge you. I just commented on one of your posts on Facebook I read it this morning. I don't know, but it was a really good post. Thank you for posting that. I loved it. And bless you, Stacy. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And let's see, Stacy, what else did you say? So right. Thank you. And let's see, Jeremiah, my beloved, says that always focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. You know, that's a good point. I have to say something about that because we saw a lot of signs while we were gone. Okay, and I'm gonna give you one example of this. Okay, and he kind of pointed it out, but at the same token, like I saw it, but like kind of maybe in a different way. But just to give you one example, we're on the pier in Honolulu Bay, and there's a life raft thing that's, you know, only to be used in case of emergency to throw in to help, you know, save someone. And on it said, well, first of all, it said only use this in case of emergency. But the statement across the front that said, please don't steal this. Just say, please don't steal this. Okay? Now, you don't want anybody to steal it. And you're going to write out there for them to read, don't steal this. And it's like you're creating that there's going to be somebody to steal this. Okay? Just because that's your frequency. It's not what we do. This is about the mastering of vibration. It is not what we do. It's the intention and the energy we load our weapon with. Okay? That creates what we want or don't want. So it's not a matter of you do something or don't do something. It's why you do it or why you don't do it that counts. So if you are doing something out of fear-based, and you're walking through it thinking you have to do it, but you're doing it because you're afraid of something, you're creating what you're afraid of, whether you do it. If you do it or don't do it based on your fear. So change, it's very important to get your intentions right of why you do what you do. And so that's one of the things that, just to put that out there, this is a way to think about your programming, of how you're programming these things to change your vibration. So make your intentions come from a state of frequency of love or above, and that is from a place of freedom and not from a place of lack or limitation or fear. Because even if you do what you think you need to do, but you're doing it because of fear, lack, or, you know, all those limiting things, you're going to create more limiting stuff, even though you're taking action you might need to take. But if you do it because you're, you know, don't have this attachment to the fears and, you know, all these underlying vibrational energies, emotions, then you'll get a different outcome doing the exact same action that you take. Okay, that would be one way that you can really make sure to, you know, make a shift in what you're doing. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow again. If you're just joining, this is day 24 of 30 days of transformation, a journey to your true self. And we're going to be having a retreat here in Sedona next week. You can sign up or check out more information on that in the description above or below, depending on your platform, and the link in the bio on Instagram. See you tomorrow. Take care. Loads of love.